scopes, but then yeah, so it's like you can you don't feel like it's super rigid there. It can be flexible, so even though it might not be super related to you now, it might be changing to something related. So I feel like if you want to know more, just go to their website or something, you can learn more about that. And actually, speaking of which, I am also opposed to offers. Yes, so I feel like, okay, nice to meet everyone again. And yeah, I actually posted my LinkedIn or something somewhere above, but I don't know, hope it's not flow to some random places deep down there. See if you guys find me, and then anyway, just text me anytime, and like not just for the internship, but also anything about, I don't know, for example, what I'm studying biomedical engineering or anything will be good. So yeah, nice to meet everyone again, and see you guys.
Nice to meet you soon. Hi.
Thank you.
It was very nice to meet you.
I had a question. Can you tell me about the section where we have to judge our skills based on 4 cases? I don't know.
We didn't have this in our application. Can you like show us? Because we didn't have a section where we need to judge our skills based on 4 cases. We only had 3 write-ups and we had to submit our documents.
Right. Can I, am I audible?
Yeah.
You can share your screen if you would like.
No, it was in your application only. Maybe I didn't justify it like properly in my question. There was a section where we have to judge our teamwork based on often, or we engage into often, or we don't engage into often, or something.
Yeah, that's just a formality. Like, have you done that before? Have you not done that before? Like, simple stuff. If you have done it, write it. Like, you don't really need to pay attention to all that. What is important are your documents, your LOR, and the SOPs, and the CV, of course. So like that's just for formality. If you have done that, just answer those questions truthfully.
Are you asking about this part?
Yeah, this was it.
Okay. Yeah, it's just write the positive.
Just to
positive ones.
Yeah.
Or nothing.
Yeah. I think this is for the first eligibility screening. Like the Mitacs employees see if you have experience. Like they try to match you with the projects that you have applied for. So that this is for that. So if you see like conducting surveys, so like that is also part of your project description. So if you have done that, still write it very often. Like
I mean,
you can justify that later on, right? Yeah.
Interviews often.
So I didn't really give much attention to this section. It wasn't really concerning that.
Did we have this?
Yeah, I think we had like a different format, but we had the same thing. Yeah.
Same. Like on a scale of 1 to 10 or something like that. I do not remember, but there was this part. So just like always, like here, gathering information from archives, published work. I think all of us must have done it. It's just internet research. So you can always write very often here. But if it was published information, then you obviously have to write something right. Like you can't just say that I have been published unless you have. So just stay true to whatever you have experienced. And if you can just, it's not a very important section. Like so make it positive as you can.
Like make sure you're not lying. Okay, make sure you're not lying, but also make sure that you're not putting yourself in a bad light, right?
Right.
Exactly. You don't want to answer everything never, like programming, scripting, coding. Most of the projects would want it. Even if you haven't done it, you have some experience. Like in your undergrad, we have a coding class, right? So, right, you have experience in that, so it might improve your chances.
Yeah, if you're from biotech background and in case a project requires it, you should write often rather than sometimes or never. I mean, you must have studied it, so it's cool that way.
There's this one question from Manika, like tips about the CV. I sent you a document. I'll send it again. It is from Harvard, how you should make your CV, what kind of words should you use, and everything like that. I'll send it again. The general thing which I followed is don't use the Mitacs CV template. That is very bad. I know no one used that format. No one I know has used that format. So please don't use it. Oh, you have, Ishida? Oh my God. Okay, so like even my seniors told me don't use that format. It is not good. You should use the standard template which you will find on the internet, which looks professional. Use that. Also, this is a research internship, so do not limit your CV to one page. So that is what the general advice we are given, right? For companies, make it one page, make it short, make it crisp, so they don't lose out on so they don't just throw your CV in the trash. That is because they get a lot of applicants, like they get 200, 300 applicants, and the hiring manager does not have the time to review all that. But when you're applying to a professor, he wants to see how well you can write, how well you can present your ideas and communicate to other people. So in that, you get a chance by using your CV. So while for the CV, try to make it 2 pages. Even if you don't have stuff to write, then make sure you write it only in one page. Don't leave blank spaces. You can find a lot of videos on YouTube how to write a good CV and everything like that. So my advice would be write 2 pages. If you have done projects, make it as descriptive as possible. How mention what you have done, what you learned, and what was the outcome of it. So there is this snap or some abbreviation in which you tell what you did, what was the impact, what is the theme that what you did, like not in that order, and what was the application or the end result that you obtained from doing that project. So make your CV descriptive as possible, and try to make it 2 pages. That would be my advice.
Yeah, there's this question if one can include a recommendation from a company. I don't think that's possible.
So generally, I think it's written on the website as well that it should be from an academic supervisor, from a professor who has seen your work or has supervised you as a teacher in the classroom or in the project. So it's like you have the option of producing 2 letters of recommendation. So one, make sure it is from a professor. Other one, if you cannot manage it from a professor, you can submit it from someone from a company who has supervised your work. But make sure the quality of the LOR is very good. It's not just a generic one which doesn't really help your chances. So make sure if you are getting it, make sure it is really personalized and it is like it really helps your chances. For example, in my case, I only submitted one LOR, but the LOR I submitted was really good. Like even I was surprised, like my professor has such a good opinion of me. So if you're doing that, if you're only submitting one LOR, make sure it's really good, because at the end of the day, it should help your chances of getting selected. That's it.
I would like to add, someone asked like Mitex template. So I didn't see the Mitex template, right? Because I had my own pre-made resume / CV thing, one page. And trust me, this is one of the things which professors will see after filtering out your application. So when I got the interview, one of my professor, which I had an interview with, she asked me everything which I had written on the resume. Like it was almost 1 hour conversation, and she asked me, okay, why you did this thing? How does it align? And everything, like my story. So I remembered that interview. It was like one of the longest interview, I would say, asking everything on my CV, right? Courses, be it any 1 month project or anything, like skills as well. Like when did you get those? How will they be relevant that way? So yeah, just make sure you're just conveying yourself.
How can you share files on Zoom? I want to share something.
Yeah, there's a
okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay, I got it. But thank you.
Option.
Yeah, I shared. This is the format I use.
It's funny how everyone, like Shardul told, he has not heard anyone, and I even while again applying, I didn't really want to take a risk or stuff. So I just wanted to stick as much to the Mitacs references as possible.
No, so what happened was I texted hundreds of people on LinkedIn, like previous Mitacs interns, and they told me like don't use it. Otherwise, I was also going to use the Mitacs template. Yeah, so the first thing when I opened it, it was like, yeah, this is very bad. This looks really unprofessional. So I was like, should I use it or not? So people told me that it's not really necessary to use them. So I selected a template which was much more attractive and much more professional.
I did use it. I did get selected, but yeah, you should not use that template if you have the option to. Are you sharing something? Otherwise, I could share that Mitacs template resume that.
No, I just sent the PDF file on the chat box. Okay. So I hope that is available to everyone.
So I want to speak about the LORs, right?
Yeah.
So for the LOR, make sure you are getting the LOR from a professor who knows you well to a great extent, right? Not like you want to do the project in certain stream and get the LOR from that kind of professor. It will look good, right? But if the person doesn't know you, let's say he's just the HOD of the department, just taught you one practical class, right? Whom you just met online, no interface, right? That is not a good LOR, I would say. Go for an LOR which the professor knows you for a few years. Like for me, when I got the LOR, the professor knew me already for 2 years, right? I did my summer first year internship under her, like the project under her. Then second year she taught me. And again, she's teaching me right now, third year. So I'll get that LOR so that it will be the most helpful for the people to judge me, right?
Right.
So get that kind of an LOR.
So yeah, this was my Mitacs template internship. I did not have a lot going on at that time, but I did try to fit in as much as I could. And I didn't know that there's this thing that this formatting and everything comes once you change it to PDF. Like, so yeah, this was a very basic template that I had used, and a lot of information I had scrapped out. But yeah, it was my luck that I was screened out. But I mean, do not try this, I would say, because it limits everything that you present to the professor. And yeah, so that was it. I think
I would say that everyone has done some 1 or 2 mistakes in their application process. When they look into it today, they feel like, oh wow, I got selected because even though I did the mistake, right? So just make sure you're presenting yourself the best as you can, and it's almost luck, you could say. After you submit the application, it's not in your hands unless and until you get the interview call and you are bad in your interview. That's not the thing, but still, for the application, it's in your hands, and after that, it's luck, right? I would say.
Shardul, can you send the PDF again? Monal got this.
Yeah, I'm just finding that. Where is it?
My research paper has been selected, but I have no proof, means no certificate. Yeah, you should, like I had also mentioned in my CV, like I did get complete, I had just written a book chapter, and that was when I was applying. So even though I did, there was no proof that I have written it, I did mention it because you can always show the emails and stuff later. Yeah.
Even I did that. I had published one paper and the other one was under peer review. Like
Right.
it is a long process that other people check your research paper before publishing, right? So I'd written that in my essay that it is under peer review and it is about to get published. That's all I wrote. Even I was asked this during my interview as well. The interview thing is like Ritu told, like people told me that interviews are supposed to be like a 15-minute formality or something for some professors, but my interview went on for an hour. So we just kept on talking. He discussed my CV. I told him what I was doing, why I did that, what are my interests in. He opened my paper which I had published, and he told me, okay, so you have written this, right? So explain this section to me.
Whoa.
So yeah, I did that. Yeah. So what was your outcome? What happened in like what all things happened during your experimentation and while you were doing this project? He asked me everything. So whatever you write on your CV, make sure you are able to justify that. If not with a certificate, at least with like you can talk about it and explain what you learned from that.
Yeah.
Because if it's on the CV, then I'm pretty sure he's going to ask what you about it. So make sure you everything is accountable for. Yeah.
I think I'm the exception here again. Yeah, Arvind, please go.
Hello. Yeah, I had a question about Ishita's, the SOP she shared a bit while ago. Like she had mentioned about her internships and all in the general description itself. So what are we supposed to write in the research past experience section?
In the research, you have only 2 essays, right? You don't have the research section.
No, we have actually 3 sections. One is about notable achievements.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. So in research experience, you have to, if you have done research, you have to describe what you have done in detail. Like what was the technology used? Like in suppose for me, I used UV visible spectroscopy, so I wrote that. What I did. So you have to give a kind of detailed description of what you did in your research rationale. Like so you can give an
that is also about 100 words to write, so we can just describe in brief about what we did, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you have multiple projects, first go for the most exciting one, like that will make sure that you look like a good candidate, and then go for other projects.
But it's fine if we can't explain it in detail in those 100 words, right? Like
Yeah, so they know that you only have 100-word limit, so don't really worry about that. But make sure whatever you write, that it's really nice. Like you have presented really well. Make sure you do that.
And sorry, just one more question.
Yeah.
In the general description, if we mention about the internships and all, then we can't write the same thing in that research experience, right? If it is a research internship, like we can't just write both of them, both the things in the.
Yeah, if you're writing it in the research experience, you get more space and more words to describe it in the general description. So don't be redundant. Don't write the same thing again and again. If you are getting a chance to write it in the research thing right there, and in the SOP, you can try to use, like you can give a different perspective of why you are pursuing this research internship. You can talk about your plans. You want to do a PhD, even if you're not willing to do one, you can write it, because that will increase your chance, because people are always interested in giving positions to those people who are really interested and passionate about things they're doing, right? So if you write that, like even if you don't have experience and you show that you are really interested in pursuing this internship, that will really help you out in the application process.
All right, got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I was talking about the interview part. Like you guys had such long interviews, and I had exactly the 15-minute interview everyone talks about. And she did not talk anything about my interests or something. She just said, "Hi, how are you? Introduce yourself, and what things you have done until now," and that's it. And she was like, "Okay, thank you." And so my interview was the shortest interview I had. I studied a lot for the topics that I had chosen. Like for the project she was doing, I looked at her ResearchGate profile, her Google Scholar profile, her LinkedIn profile, and I was prepared. Like she'd be asking me lots of tough questions and stuff, but she did not. She was like, it was a very brief. So you can't really say which professor will ask what and how long the interview will go on, but you should be prepared completely once you are like shortlisted for that. And you should be thorough with your resume and CV. Like otherwise, you can't really stand for yourself and vouch for yourself.
I had 2 interviews, right? One was a longer interview, one was a shorter interview. So the shorter one was the one where I'm doing the internship, and I introduced myself, right? Then it was not about what I did, but she first told me about her project, because it was where I'll be working with cell cultures and immunological techniques. So she wanted to ask me if I knew them after defining her project. So she described me, I have written it here. She described the project to me, right? And then she talked about whether I know these techniques and all those things. So whatever I knew, I told them, right? And yeah, that's kind of it. And also when she asked me to tell me about what I have done, so I mentioned that I have written, although it was not a scientific literature or scientific publication, but I have written for like kind of like a blog kind of thing, right? But it was not too scientific, but it was scientific for the extent that normal people can understand, right? So I wrote those things that I told her that I have done those, and the summer projects and all the things which I have done almost were kind of relatable to the broad field of immunology, right? And that was the first one. And the second one I had at McGill, right? That interview was at McGill, and it was about the neurogeneration disease, like dementia and Alzheimer's. So first, like it was like she told about her project for like 1 or 2 minutes, right? And after that, it was about me, and we talked about myself, all the extracurriculars which I mentioned, be it volunteering, what I did in volunteering, the courseworks, extra courseworks which we had, like mocks which I have done, right? And why I want to her projects, right? So those were the 2 different interviews. And yeah, you get the interviews. Like I got my interviews in the November end, one was on 23rd, other was on 25th, and I got the call from the first professor. I gave the interview on like I guess 11th or 12th of December, right? 11th December. So after that it was like, okay, I have got the internship, great, but you don't know what will.
So yeah, there's this one thing you should keep in mind while you're applying right now. The deadline is on 22nd. Today is 11th. Please do not leave your application for like the last day or the last second.
No.
Please save it as fast as you can, as early as you can, because once everyone will be doing that at the end, like making changes.
And the server will start lagging and it will crash.
So,
Yeah.
And there was this one thing that happened in my application. I had filled it very, very nicely. I had put the country as India. For some reason,
Indonesia. It
Indonesia, yeah,
It
same.
happened with everyone from India. So no,
And I
was
mailed
scared.
them.
Yeah, even I mailed
them, and then they
Yeah,
changed it again. So they sometimes you may not have done an error, but something may happen. So like,
check it thoroughly before your final submission and your final edit. Check it thoroughly. Even if you're spelling, check your the spelling for your name as well. Check the country spelling as well. Check your institute spelling. Check everything.
It
Because
was a nightmare for me, you know.
Yeah,
Like I didn't knew
yeah.
it was a
I
mistake
thought
from their
now
side.
they will cancel my
But my-
project. I thought they will
yeah.
cancel my project. Yeah.
You know, I thought it was mistake I have done, and my parents were like, "Oh wow, you have done a mistake first time in the application in your country name," you know. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I made them a screenshot that's Indonesia. I'm from
Yeah,
India.
same,
Please
same,
change it.
same.
You know.
yeah.
So
But
just make sure you thoroughly check everything. And I know like you will be making a lot of edits in your SOP and everything. So make sure you make it on the portal. You write it on a Word document and you change it on the portal. It shouldn't be that you are writing everything on your PC and then at the last day you will copy paste everything on the portal. And that day some problem might occur. Your net might not be working or the website crashes. So make sure you do everything 1 week prior to the deadline.
for us, the deadline was on 31st August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
I don't really remember.
Something
I
August.
submitted my application 15 days before the deadline. That is the thing I remember.
July. So yeah, 10th of July it began. So it was August.
I submitted on 29th August, you know. So don't do
Abhishek,
that,
you
right?
won't
It
be
is
able
stressful.
to change your preferences. Like the 7 projects that you have given, you won't be able to change those projects, but you will be able to reorder your preference list, like what should be on the first and what should be on the second. That you can do, but you cannot change the entire project after you have submitted after the deadline. Shortlisted students, when will we know? After the first, like in October, I think you will receive one mail that you have passed the screening, the eligibility screening. That's like the basic step, formality thing. After that, there will be a first round of interviews and selection. The results for that will be announced, I guess in December. Yeah, 11th December, as Ritu told. And the second after, and immediately after that, the second wave starts in January after the Christmas. Like in Western countries, they have the Christmas they used to, right?
By
So
February.
after Christmas and the winter break, yeah, in January and February, you will have the second wave. And by the end of February, all the final students will have their uh, their selection, their approval letters, like their offer letters, and then you will start your visa process.
Yep.
Luckily, you guys will get to go to Canada, and we we didn't get to go to Canada for our internship. So
You
really
know,
happy for you.
it was a very demotivating thing for me because when I got the Amgens, it was again COVID and all over world it was cancelled. Then this year Amgen happened in US and Europe, right, in Canada, but in Asia it didn't happen. So it was again like it was cancelled. And for the Mitacs again it was online, right? So everything for me was like downhill. You know, you were not able to get the experience what you intended to get, but still.
So there's this question, should we select projects only based on a particular branch or field? No. Like if you are in biotechnology and you are into web development or something different than biotechnology and you're working on it, you can always select a project related to that, ML or maybe data science. And you should have a knowledge about that field you're applying in. Otherwise, they'll be like, you work here, you're wanting to be here. Justify your choices, and if as long as you can justify, you can apply for any project you want to. And for LOR submission, you have the choice of uploading it directly or through the professor. I preferred the professor uploads it because it would be a one less task for me. So what did you guys do?
I did not do that. I wanted to make sure my professor submits an LOR and does not forget about it. So she's really forgetful. Like she's very nice. She gave me an LOR, but she tends to forget because she's very busy. That's the honest truth, right? So I made sure that she sends me the PDF, the printout, and I uploaded diligently before the deadline. I didn't want to risk my chances of getting selected based on her being forgetting or not.
Right.
For me,
Yeah.
For me, it was like 29th August, right? You can't ask the professor to submit the LOR in 1 or 2 days, right? So you need to give them time. So that's why I submitted, because I had my LOR. It was 1 year old. Like I didn't have a latest LOR, right? Because of COVID, right? So I submitted the old LOR which I had. Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
can do any of these.
as long as the professor is not forgetful, you can ask them to and remind them once. And otherwise, like my professors were very prompt about it, so I wanted them to do this. And as long as it helps you in submit it before the deadline, you can opt for anything. They won't contact the.
Ishita, I'll be leaving in like 5 minutes. So like if anyone has some specific doubts
I think we
directed
should end it
to me,
after
please.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So please unmute yourself and ask me because I'll be leaving in 5 minutes.
Yeah, if you have any questions, just quickly ask because we have to eat something.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, Vijay, go ahead.
You're saying the application gets over by 22nd September, and we get the result for first wave at the start of December and the second wave at the end of February. My question is that till when? I mean, like when we'll be having the interviews, and when can we? What's the deadline for changing the preferences based on the interviews?
Okay. So till your interviews will start around November or December, I guess. Mine started in November. After till the end of the first wave, you will be able, like even as the interviews are ongoing, you will be able to change your preference list of what should be higher, what should be lower. That is always going on throughout the process. Don't need to worry about that. After the first wave ends, you will again get a chance to reorder your preferences and while the interviews are going. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
does anyone have specific? Yeah, Murali, come on.
Yeah. So like when we are discussing about LORs, right? I have one LOR from Prof, but fine. I have also worked in a research firm, TCS Research and Innovation. So they also, like, the mentors are really accomplished. I mean, they are senior scientists and PhDs. So is it like they want your LORs from universities? Is it specific for?
No. If you can submit those LORs as well. And as you told, they are from research, they are from scientists, right? So it will obviously help your profile.
Yeah, as long as they have a research background, I don't think it will
So the thing is that they don't want an LOR from anyone. Like what people might do, that they just write an LOR from the father. He is a good manager or something in a reputable firm, and they'll just submit that. So they don't want that. But if you are telling that you worked there and he can write a good LOR and he's a very accomplished person, do submit that. I don't think that would be a problem.
Shardu, did we have the options to submit 2 LORs or just one?
Oh, we had 2 maximum and minimum 1.
Minimum 1. So if you have good LORs, like if you have 2 good LORs, one from the internship, one from the professor, I would say submit both of them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The more the better.
There are 2 LORs, one from the professor I work in the research with, and one from my academic mentor, like who has always been there, has been teaching me since the beginning of the semesters. So she could vouch for my academic excellence, and the other professor could vouch for my research excellence. So I asked both of them to do that. And if one can do that, that's also very nice. I mean, this professor is issuing 2-3 pages of LOR for one student. So if that is what you have in store, then definitely use that.
Thanks. And just one more thing, apart from Mitacs, and I know that, apart from this 2, did you guys apply to any other?
Yeah. I've sent a link. I'll send it again. I'll send it again. Just wait. It has all the internships. It is not an exhaustive list. There are obviously more, but these are the prominent ones that get a lot of applications and are really prestigious.
Yeah,
so this is the link I've sent, GitHub. There is a lot of international research opportunities in this link. So please do check out. Don't put all your baskets in the same, all your eggs in the same basket. Don't only apply to Mitacs. A lot of it is really competitive. It is a very good thing. I'm very lucky that I got selected. Okay, I hadn't applied anywhere else. So please don't do that. Play it safe, because COVID is like, it has done a lot of damage, right? So you don't want to risk everything. So apply to several programs. If you get into multiple, you can select the best opportunity out of those. So there's this link. Do go through it once. Mitacs is the first, organization which opens its applications the first. Like everything else happens in June, sorry, January, February, and December, right? So if you this makes sure that you have something safe to rely on, and then you can apply to other projects like that. There is DART, then there is NTU in Singapore. Several colleges in America also have these internships.
There are
So apply to them as well. Try to be open. Yeah. But those are very competitive. Like the American ones are like, they are very competitive. Like most of the people I know who got in were stellar profiles. Like मतलब वैसे लोग तो दुनिया में बने ही नहीं, ऐसे लोग के टाइप है वो, ठीक है?
हमें तो लगता है कि हमारी प्रोफाइल कुछ है ही नहीं.
हाँ, ऐसे टाइप के लोग वहाँ पे सिलेक्ट होते हैं, like जो SN बोस और वो सब. Mitacs is still very accommodating to the to people who don't really have recent experience, but really want to grow and do better in the field.
Basically, promoting research in Canada and in maintaining relations between India and Canada. So you have a nice shot here. That's the main thing. And I have recorded the meeting, but in middle I got disconnected because my laptop got switched off. So I'll try to upload both the parts as on the YouTube link, and then you can share it. And you guys can always contact us in the chat of the event. Like I don't think that will move on. Like you can always.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
Or you can always contact us to LinkedIn, but the chat option will remain open. I hope so. So you can try there, asking your questions. We'll all be there, happy to help you all.
Okay. So one thing I want to remind you guys is like there's this internship called OIST, right? It will open up the application on 15th of September, Japan. So you can give it a try. It's all deadline 15th October. After this internship, if you're interested in more research internships. So I applied for this as well last night.
Yeah. So
I guess that's it, right?
Yeah. Cool then.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you guys, Ishita and Ritu. This is the first time we're seeing each other.
Thanks so much for coming.
It was really nice. Yeah, and I'd like to thank Ishita. She's the one who organized everything. She had the idea that we should organize a webinar for you people. So thank you, Ishita. And it was really nice to see everyone, all the participants. I hope you were able to help you out. And in case you need more help in the application process, please feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help. Yeah.
Same. I have listed my LinkedIn.
We have all sent our LinkedIn profiles, so feel free to pick any one of us.
And I'll send it once more. This is my LinkedIn profile.
Cool then.
Okay.
I'll send the recording.
Bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye. Nice to meet you, everyone.
Yep. Same here. Bye.
Bye.